Hello, everyone, and welcome to Criticizing Television. My name is Megan Wanty, and I am your instructor for this course. I want to take a few moments to go over the syllabus, assignments, requirements, and all the basic course information. I'm going to share my screen quickly, and we can take a look at the syllabus together. Starting at the top, you can find my contact information listed. However, I do ask that you message me directly through Carmen Canvas messaging rather than by email. I will answer emails, but I typically respond faster through the Carmen Canvas messages. Please do allow 24 to 48 hours during the weekday for a response. I'm usually much quicker than this, but know that if you are messaging me right before a deadline, I might not have time to respond to your question. Announcements will be sent out primarily via Carmen messages, so do keep an eye on your inbox in there. I also send out reminders from time to time through the announcement function, so you should make sure that your announcements are turned on in Carmen so that you know that you're getting those announcements from me. I tend to send out messages at the beginning of the week, starting each week, reminding you what is coming up for this week and any upcoming assignments. I do offer office hours occasionally throughout the semester, but I will primarily be available by appointment. Please just message me to set a time up to do that. Now, if we scroll down a little bit in your syllabus, you can find your required text, reading, and subscriptions. You are required to have a paid subscription to Netflix and Hulu, as well as sign up for a free Peacock streaming account. That's NBC's new streaming platform that they use. All of your assigned videos are directed through these services or are available for free. If a show is no longer available for free, please let me know as soon as possible so that I can find a replacement. As of today, everything is still up to date, but both Hulu and Netflix will drop shows sometimes without warning, and this has happened before, so I might need to arrange a last-minute substitution. Now, your textbooks are called Television Criticism by Victoria O'Donnell and The Easy Guide to APA Style. You can purchase these titles bundled as an e-text through Carmen Books for a significant discount. There's some information there on the syllabus for you about that. Otherwise, you can explore other purchasing options through the school or elsewhere. Now, moving into content and structure, as you may be aware, this is a GE second level writing course. Our specific semester-long focus is the ways in which social and cultural diversity are constructed on American television. We have a strong emphasis on representation in mass media. These concepts will be explored through argumentative and research-based writing. Each week, we will have a different topic that we explore through our assigned readings, your writings, lecture content, and discussion boards. This is all organized under your modules tab in your Carmen Canvas page based on the week. So you'll find everything that you need under there. You can start by looking at the to-do list for each week, which has everything kind of laid out for you. This course is heavily weighted on your participation in the online discussion boards, where we will all be working through the material we encountered for the week through a selection of prompts. In these discussion boards, you will be asked to engage with specific examples from assigned material in your responses. This might be references, paraphrasing, or direct quotes, but make sure that you are directly engaging with the material assigned for the week in your discussion response. Most of the time I ask for 2 specific citations in your response, and I would ask that you actually put the parenthetical citation in there. So that means the last name, comma, year in parentheses. This helps me find the sometimes vague references that you all are making in those discussion boards. It just makes it easier for everyone to know what you're talking about specifically. And it's good practice for when you're writing to know to cite your sources that way as well. Now, in addition to your weekly discussion posts and discussion boards, there are three essays that or writing assignments here that you will do throughout the semester, although your final essay is broken into 3 different steps. So in these essays, you are employing critical watching and writing skills about various topics related to television. You'll receive feedback from me on each of these assignments that is specific content that I want you to address in your next paper. So feedback is really, really important for me when I'm teaching, and I think it's really important in the learning process as well. So I spend a lot of time putting in unique feedback for each of you with specific suggestions that I expect to see implemented in your next paper. So do take time to go through that feedback in those forms in your submissions, so that you can know what I'm going to be looking for on your next paper. In the coming weeks, you will receive more information on each of these essays. In the meantime, you can look at your syllabus for some more detailed descriptions about what each of these papers is and what you will be expected to do in these papers. Let's take a moment to look at the course calendar a little bit here. So we work on a Thursday to Saturday schedule, and this is so that you have a little bit more time within the week to work on your responses and your posts. Each week you will have assigned readings, viewings, lecture material, and more. You can find it all listed on your syllabus and embedded into the modules in Carmen. Again, if you check that to-do list for each week and the module itself, you'll find links for each of the materials that is listed here. So for example, this first week that you will be looking at, you have your welcome video that is due on Thursday, and then 2 responses to your peers due Saturday by midnight. You do not have any assigned readings and viewings prior to posting this welcome video, but you do have writing and research lessons that you need to do before the start of next week. This will need to all be read and viewed before we start week 2. There are some helpful tips down here if you would like to take a look at them. Otherwise, I'm going to show you next week's page, I guess, because it shows something a little bit more typical for what we're going to be doing each week. So you'll have your assignments and tasks listed on the left-hand column. In the middle, you have your readings and watching assignments, viewing assignments, I suppose. And then on the right side, you have your writing and research lessons. Now, again, this is all organized under your module. It should be pretty self-explanatory. I work hard to make sure that it is clear for you and that you have access to it all. But if you have any questions, just let me know and I'll walk you through it. You will notice that within the syllabus, you have your discussion prompts already embedded. So if you want to take a look at all of those beforehand, you are welcome to do that. One note about the discussion prompts: these are really good opportunities for you to engage with the material deeply, and it gives you an idea of different topics that you might want to talk about. However, this should not be a limitation to what you can talk about. So if you are doing the assigned readings and viewings and you have an idea that you want to write about, feel free to do that. You just need to make sure that you are, meeting the same standards as these kind of prompts would be asking you to do. So make sure that the conversations that you're having are critical and are in depth and have an opportunity for other viewers, or rather students or peers, to respond to you and to have interesting conversations around those things. So let me see, what else am I missing here? Due dates. So we're talking about due dates here. You have an embedded 12-hour grace period for pretty much every due date that you have in the syllabus for all of your papers, for the discussion boards, anything that you see listed that's due, you have an extra 12 hours on top of that. I do that because I know that a lot of people are working. Sometimes you need a little bit of extra time, and I don't want you to feel that you are, too pressed to get something in on time and turn in something that's not maybe your best work. So I give that extra 12 hours across the board. You don't need to ask for it. It's just there because I want you all to take advantage of that if and when you need it. So if your assignment is due Thursday at midnight, you will have until Friday at noon to turn in the assignment without penalty. Beyond this, typical late points are deducted unless you've talked to me prior to the due date and gained permission for a late submission. If there's an exception to this rule, I will let you know. For example, during the summer semester, there are a couple instances where this grace period and extension period policy doesn't apply because it's on such a condensed schedule. If you do need to submit an assignment late for whatever reason, I'm pretty flexible. I do offer extensions as long as it does not interfere with the integrity of the course, your progress in the course, or anything like that. However, you have to receive approval for late submissions before the deadline, and you have to talk to me about it in order to get that extension, and it has to be reasonable. There are limits to that, obviously, but I do try to be pretty flexible with that as well. Otherwise, if you have SLDS accommodations, email me at the start of the semester so that we can discuss accommodations that are necessary. If I get something from the office, I will reach out to you as well so that we can work on that together. Now that's all I have for the syllabus and course content for now. And we are going to just roll straight into instructions for this first week. So this first week for your discussion board, you will be asked to create and post a welcome video in the week 1 discussion board by Thursday, and then respond to 2 peers by Sunday. You don't need to do a huge in-depth peer response, but do just, pop in, watch some videos, say, hey, how is it going? So that you can start building that camaraderie in the class. I also would like you to go over the assigned writing and research lessons that are in the syllabus for next week. That I mentioned that we don't have a discussion board for you to respond to, but are listed there. That's going to be your introductory material, chapter 1 in your textbook, the introduction lecture that will be posted below this, and such. So for your welcome video, I'd like you to first introduce yourself, including your name, your major, your favorite TV show, what you like about TV, and maybe why you are taking this course. So for me, as you know, my name is Megan Wanty. I am a PhD candidate here at OSU studying museum education. My favorite thing about television is the storytelling aspect, the ability to create new worlds and connect to our own, and I guess the ability for television to reach across boundaries, which we'll talk a lot about throughout the semester. My favorite show of all time is Gilmore Girls, which has been around for a while, but it was my first favorite TV show when I was little. And I go back to it a lot. I've seen it dozens of times from start to finish, and it's just really easy for me to watch. It's super comforting, it's funny, there's some dated stuff in there now, but that is true for all television, which is another thing we'll talk about throughout the semester. So for this show, you can look to the character dynamics and the family bonds and the costuming and the way the story's told and the way that they set up jokes and all of that. But for me, I chose this as an example because I think that it's important for us to talk about the different reasons that we watch television, just starting out. Because for me, I don't know, I really like this show, and it was the intro for me into television. And I think there are a lot of ways that we all watch shows for comfort, for humor, for seeing things that we wouldn't typically, for various entertainment, learning, all of these different things, which I hope to hear you all talk about in your discussion posts in your welcome videos this week. Yeah, so that is all I have for today in this video. You'll see some other videos that are going to be for your kind of lecture material this week, but I'm super excited to work with you all this semester. I can't wait to see your welcome videos, and I hope you all have a great first week.